Welcome to another episode of Jake's Bounty. That's right. Hey, it's a Thursday. That's right. Throwback Thursday, in fact. And it's September the 15th, 2022. Let's go ahead and do it. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in to Jake's Bounty. And that was Hot Licks with Hail Slore from their double LP, LA Vogue, back in 2016. We'll hear more from it later on, but let's go ahead right now and tell you, well, about the rest of the day. First off, we've got my sponsors. We've got retro challenges for trivia puzzles, 70s and 80s right here. Just $5.99 when you tap on the retro. Also got $5.99 for the dummies and book. Dog Train Your Dummies for just $5.99. Tap on the word dummy. Also go to my website and do that. And we've still got street racing. What is it? Midnight Club Street Racing right here over at Ray's Video. $1 7-day rental. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get to the news. A false active shooter at Bullard High forces lockdown. It was a hoax, and the lockdown was lifted after an hour. Alright, and I guess 5 other schools here in California were also notified. Unknown if they're related to the whole same case or not. Man and woman are arrested for death of Sophia Mason and Merced appear in court. Dante Jackson was arraignment has continued so he can get a attorney. Samantha Johnson was in court to be arraigned, and she pleaded a not guilty plea. And both of them are charged with child abuse and first degree murder. Of it. Sophia Mason was found back in March in a bathtub. All right. Car involved in chase crashes big rig in Fresno. This happened in Fresno County, over there by Cedar and Conejo Avenue. That's right. And speeding silver SUV at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, possibly maybe been an early shooting, trying to pull over. Driver sped off at 120 miles per hour. Highway 41 was closed, Cedar and Conejo, and he crashed into a big rig. 3 to 4 persons were inside but will survive. All right, and the driver of the big rig is okay as well. All right. And finally, R. Kelly's verdict. R&B singer found guilty of 6 counts of trial fixing, 3 counts of trial fixing, and another 3 counts of child porn and enticing minors for sex. This is obviously a developing story, and we'll have more from it as we continue. All right. That is going to be our Throwback Thursday story. Now, going back all the way to 1995, when we first heard about R. Kelly and Aaliyah getting married, and it was supposed to be a hoax, a joke, whatever you want to call it. I always knew that it was for real, and then I always knew that he was doing something dirty. And I was like, well, how'd they even get this, approved? I mean, she's 15, and that meant that her parents must have signed up and signed okay for it, Like, it's one thing to have a relationship with a person who's like 10 years your senior, or maybe he was 8 years your senior. Anyway, he was like 26 and she was like 15 at the time. So it's one thing to have relationships, a whole nother ball of wax to get married. And yes, it was annulled, but it was found out later that the story was real. They really did get married. It wasn't a hoax. It wasn't a joke. We should have known right then what R. Kelly was capable of. And we should have put some charges on him and not just let him go scot-free, I mean, maybe if we did that, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in now, and following that Aaliyah marriage, of course, there was many more allegations, many more people saying, hey, he touched me, he urinated on me, he, likes to have sex with fecal matter, so much so that Dave Chappelle made fun of it on a Chappelle show in 2003 and 2004. One of the funniest things I'd seen. But R. Kelly didn't like it that much, mostly because it hit too close to home, and it was true. In 2005 and 2006, it looked like he was going to go to jail again, but he was able to get himself out of trouble when he paid for it. That's right, he was able to pay the parents of the victim in question, who he supposedly peed on or had sex with, and was under the age of consent. And this all went away because he had money and he had the right lawyers, and it was R. Kelly. Even at the same time when he was going through this legality stuff back in 2005 and 6, his album, the Chocolate Album, was at #1. Okay, so he was practically untouchable, and he thought so. And he ended up getting away with this in 2005 and 2006. Again, in 2009, he had another similar offense, brushed under the carpet. Another one in 2011 that he was able to pay for and also get brushed under the carpet. You kind of see how things are lining up here. We should have known what was going on, but we kept on just pushing it under the carpet. It's not like he had hits anymore, but we were still like under his spell and saying, oh, R. Kelly, we know you did this shit, but you shouldn't go to prison for it. You just slap on the wrist. And now, well, it's been 10 years later, and there's been multiple people saying, hey, he touched me, and multiple times people going and trying to sue him, and same thing, the same result comes up. Now, it happened just 2 years ago when they were doing a documentary on R. Kelly. I think it was called Surviving R. Kelly. I might be wrong. Put in the comments below if you happen to know what it's really called. But anyway, it took place a couple nights on TV, and the ratings were real good, and people's eyes were open once more, and they couldn't be closed because of what R. Kelly did, which is so blatant and right in front of us, and every day it was just more and more and more and more, and no longer could the money train just keep on, go on the track. And so finally he got what was due. It was coming to him, and now where we are today, and he was filed with 3 counts of court proceedings, which he tried to do a trial fixing, and then child porn, and then enticing minors for sex. So we should never let this man out, and it seems like we are never going to let him out, because it looks like he'll be handed down with a hefty sentence, maybe as least as 30 years, and right now he's in his early 50s, so most likely that's going to be a life sentence for him, and hey, why not, but yeah, R. Kelly, good music, but bad guy, and he just couldn't get it together, and he was always a sick, piece of shit, and his true colors really, come through in the end. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I did get a good sized bag of cans, about a maybe 13-gallon size bag, and then another like 6-gallon size bag, 6-gallon size bag full of cans. I was able to get over to AMPM before they dumped it out into their dumpster and locked it up for the day, so I was able to get some there, some Rock Stars, and some Bud Lights over at Bobby Salazar's, and then I found some more over there by K-Town Smokehouse, always a good spot, and then Motel 6, another good spot, and Valero, I was able to get an iced tea, or Arizona iced tea over there. So everything was good. I also wanted to show you what I found on my excursion. It's a bobblehead toy. It's a plastic one, but hey, it's it's still a good one. It's over here, and you can get it at Ray's. You can get it at Jake's Bounty, just $1. And yes, it's from McDonald's, but you don't have to buy a stupid Happy Meal. You don't have to act like you have a kid and shit. That's Velma, by the way, too, from Scooby-Doo. All right. Well, hey, tomorrow it's going to be Unfamiliar Friday, It's gonna be my news, my bounty, so much more. We'll have some of them retro trivia challenges and puzzles like this right here. Alright, let's see if I can get it right here. Who composed the chart-topping Miami Vice theme? Was it A. Jan Hammer, B. Harold Faltermeyer, C. Mike Post, or D. Dana Koproff? I'm going to say A. And the answer is A. Miami Vice theme became the first television show theme song to hit #1 since Harry Mancini's theme for the Peter Gunn in 1959. So Van Hammer, or Van Jammer, or whatever. Anyway, you can go and get the retro trivia challenges, puzzles over here, 70s, 80s, at Jake's Bounty for just $5.99. We type in the word retro. Get my Dog Training for Dummies books, $5.99. Also type in the word dummy. And you also go ahead and go to Ray's Video. Go get Midnight Club Street Racing for PS2, the very first one. All right. I think I've got 1 and 3. Hopefully I'll get part 2 later on. But you can go and get that. And also, right now, here is Hot Licks with their song from their first LP, LA Vogue. And it is entitled, well, can't think of it right now, but let's go ahead and get to it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. All right. See ya. Maybe I'll remember it. Oh, Hail Swore. That's what the song is called. See you guys tomorrow. Jake's Bounty was filmed at Fornicate Yourself Records Production 2022. You can follow us on Facebook, the channel's website. Leave a like, leave a comment. Leave it always great. See you right.